I will start, yes, with the first question about yeah, I said you have several important positions in a Latvian state, including in the field of defense. In your opinion, as a former defense minister, how important is the cooperation between our state, the Republic of Moldova, and Latvia in the military field?
Well, you know that Moldova for us have been always a country which produces not only a very good wine, I lately tasted that, but it is a country which is a potential member for us, in our view, potential member of European Union and NATO. Of course, it is in the hands of Moldovan society and Moldovan people to choose what road they would like to go. But knowing your history of 1939, 1940, knowing our history, it is clear that for such countries as Moldova, neutrality, it's not a choice. So either looking at the current circumstances in Russian war against Ukraine, either you will be increasingly seeing the offensive nature and aggressiveness from Russian side, or you will try to ally itself with European Union, NATO, and all the neighboring countries which are in these organizations. So actually, I don't think you have a big choice here. And from that perspective, Latvia as a country always stands in support for Moldova because of two reasons. One reason is we believe that this is morally right for Moldovans to choose their way, their road, and to be an independent country. But secondly, we also believe that this is only rational choice because we understand that there is no other way, and we can see from Ukrainian side. So you can see the Baltic nations and Latvia as a natural ally, and I would say also lobby of your interests in Brussels if you need such a lobby.
Thank you, Mr. Artis. We can go with our second questions. The same subject between cooperation between Republic of Moldova and Latvia. What were the developments in this cooperation during your time as a state official of Latvia?
Well, I would say that we could definitely have a deeper cooperation because I remember times when I was the first time a defense minister that we have been accepting your soldiers, your instructors in our instructor school, and I'm speaking here about security matters. I also remember that there have been already a longer time ago custom guards from Latvia in the missions of Moldovan outside border because you have a kind of a difficult situation because part of your territory is a so-called frozen conflict, which is across the Dnieper or Transnistria territories. And I think that also the activities of our embassy and our ambassador, which is in Chisinau, I think it's very important because, you see, we are ready to serve in many ways to Moldovan interests because you have to decide, again, how much of transformation and reforms you need. And we have been going through all this as far as Copenhagen criteria to join European Union, to do everything what is needed. So from that situation, I think we are among the best partners for you. If you, as a Moldovan state or society, need any kind of transition, reform, support, we are ready to give you simply advice for that. Because again, it's in also our traditional interest that such countries as Moldova are simply becoming more European and becoming also a traditional ally for us.
Yeah, you said about Transnistria, which situation is still very, very, very tense. in event of an extension, let's imagine if Russian military aggression against our country, would Latvia be prepared to help the Moldovan state against aggressors?
Well, that would be a very difficult challenge in general for everybody if Russians would start any kind of offensive against the Moldovan state. But knowing the proximity towards EU and NATO borders, because your neighboring, and I would say, in my view, a brother country, Romania, is very close, that would require immediate response from our allies and from us. And I'm certain that Latvian, and not only Latvian, also Northern European countries will be ready to support Moldova not less than we are supporting Ukraine at this moment, because we cannot tolerate any kind of aggression. On the other hand, I am kind of quite certain that Russia at this moment is not capable of any kind of serious activities in some other places apart of Ukraine, because their army is tied up very much. They can start any kind of provocations. Provocations are always possible, either on your border or on our border or Polish border or Finnish border. But seriously, I don't think that Russians are capable at this moment to do something. But the threat of Russia for Moldova will persist until there will be such kind of imperial ambitions in Kremlin, and until Russian army will be in the Transnistria region. Because we all know that if there would not be the Russian army, then there would not be also a frozen conflict. This was the way how Moscow was ruling neighboring countries and neighboring territories by simply invading, creating a frozen conflict, and then extending simply its interests in that region. And we cannot simply tolerate that from the European perspective and also from Latvian perspective.
Yeah. And these provocations and usually the challenges we could face as a country, with European aspirations, these provocations only come from Transnistria, as the previous experience has shown us. How you see this conflict being resolved? What should Moldova do to resolve this territorial problem? How important is to include Romania, which is a brother state for Moldova and not on the European member state, in this formula, Transnistrian formula?
Look, I think that many conflicts or many choices in politics for countries and also for people must be looked upon not what your opponent will do or can do, but what you are genuinely willing yourself to do. And I think that Moldovan people and Moldovan government simply have to kind of understand and pursue those goals, what they set on front of them, which means you must have a stable political system, you must have a stable orientation towards European democracies and connections with Europe, and you must reform your country according to those systems which exist in such countries as Latvia, or if you wish, Romania. And in current situation, of course, you must be able to invest and willing to invest also in Moldovan defense and security, because security and defense sector will be strategically and from all sides important for the next decade, because you must be not only capable and willing to or let's say you must be willing to defend your freedom and your country, but you must be also capable to do this. So simply pursue your own road, and the things will go on, because nobody will be able to seriously challenge you if you will be a united society with a clear goal to join European Union and NATO, and you will work on that. So that's the main thing. Just do what you need to do.
Yeah. Another subject I want to ask you about is the Latvian and Romanian cooperation, true NATO states, true European states in the field of defense. How important is Romanian in your country cooperation, and maybe some common exercise between the countries for the security of Eastern Europe?
Look, technically, the NATO defense response to such countries as Russia can be divided according to the, let's say, three regions, which is the Northern European region, where belongs the Baltic countries, Finland, Sweden, Baltic Sea, and then there is the Central European part, which is mainly Poland, also Slovakia, and it could be Hungary, and then there is a southern part, which is mainly Romania, and the Black Sea region, which also includes partly Turkey. So since we are in a different region of security perspective, our direct cooperation with Romanian defense forces are not so active at this stage, because for our region, military exercises mainly happen with our neighboring countries and larger allies, like, for instance, United States or Canada across the transatlantic. But on the other hand, within NATO organization as such, we have a very good mutual understanding and cooperation with Romanians as far as their political position in NATO. We very much support also EFP battle groups in this region, also in Romania. We support anything what is needed for them to secure Romanian positions close to the Moldovan borders and Black Sea region. And at this moment, when we have been seeing lately these Russian drones either falling on Romanian territory or falling very close to Romanian territory, I was actually from those NATO experts and former ministers which actually think that NATO must have a very strong and clear response here. And one of possibilities would be not only for instance, common military exercises which are happening now in the Black Sea, including Romanian Navy and military, but it would be also the expansion of air defense and air security a little bit outside Romanian or Romanian NATO airspace to guarantee that such drones are even not flying close to Romanian borders. And I would say, if Moldova, as a country which is not in war, would ask for, let's say, cover, at least partial cover, also for their airspace from Romanian and NATO side, I think that the Baltic countries, Latvia, will definitely support such type of cooperation and such type of request from Moldovan side, because we cannot be sure, and it's actually irrelevant, are Russians especially doing this or not with the drones, because it's just like with a criminal. Even if the criminal is making a crime and then telling, oh, I did not know that this law prohibits that, he's anyway punished. So from that perspective, the security needs to be upgraded in a region which is close to Romanian border and which also touches upon Moldova.
Yeah, about
that's my position. That's how I think,
and I respect it very much. About Republic of Moldova's neutrality, we have this neutrality in constitution, but there's a lot of discussions, especially about how much Russia will take this detail into account and will respect this decision. How important is an international recognition of this neutrality? And do you consider important the possibility, guarantee, including military support, to ensure neutrality in the event of a possible violation by Russia?
Look, I am very skeptical about your neutrality clause in general. Why? Because we as Latvians, we have been going through this already ourselves, because, you know, in our history, and you probably don't know that, but in our history, shortly before the Second World War started in 1938, also Latvia declared that we will be a neutral country. It did not help us a bit, because Russians invaded us and crossed our border very soon afterwards, which means if country declares neutrality, but it has aggressive neighbors and imperial neighbors, and Russia definitely at this moment is an aggressive country, I see no point in sticking to neutrality, because it will not be respected. The only outcome of such type of neutrality clause is actually telling that you feel weak, you don't want to be involved in any kind of military conflict, and since you are neutrals, then why should somebody actually respect it and support you? Because you're neutral. I think for such a small countries close to such an aggressive neighbor like Russia, neutrality is not an option. This is just kind of pretending that we do not see the problem, but it will not help you. Again, it's my position, but I don't think it will help you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Artis. Thank you for this interview, and wish you and the people of Latvia every success. Thank you.
Thank you, and we will be always ready to stand and help also Moldovan country and Moldovan people if you will ask for such type of advice or support. Thank you.